everybody? We are back. It is Taped on Live, your favorite podcast, favorite channel, favorite everything. We are back. You already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also, Taped on, follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at BD Williams 18 for BD, and then Panda Supplements. Use TDL for 35% off. BD, we are reviewing this San Francisco 49ers here. We got one more game left after this, and then the season's over. This bloodiness that we had to experience this year is finally almost coming to an end. It's almost over. We're almost at this point. So, but we're going to be checking out this past game, which has some great offense and some awful defense. That's basically what happened. It was pretty great offense and awful defense. Well, I'm going to say like this.
Fun game. If you love to watch offense, it was a fun game. I do want to set the record straight here, Marcus. Okay, real quick. There were people who were saying, "Oh man, BD, he was ready to get out of here. He wasn't lying, right?" And there was a comment. In the instant reaction, and I just want to set the record straight. I was putting my daughter to sleep. Matt and Marcus, they had to get it done, right? And so by the time I was done getting everything, straight in my household, and I logged in, I seen that you guys were already finished, and I saw that was like the number one comment already. So I thought that was pretty funny. But I am here, Raider Nation. We are going to give you some content going strong here throughout the end of the season. We're going to do a little breakdown. We're going to talk about Nate Hobbs today. Talk about, in particular, but, a couple other things as well on the defensive side of the ball. So that's what I got for you guys. What do you got for us today, Marcus?
I'm just going to go over Jarrett Stidham. I mean, just, let's not get cute here and give people what they want. I know some people will get a separate breakdown. I definitely do that for the members for sure. Get that separate long breakdown of, every throw. But we're going to break him down, see exactly what he looks like. I thought he played pretty well. It was interesting to see how Josh McDaniels thinks of him. I thought Josh McDaniels kind of sees him as a pocket passer, but you kind of tell early on that he isn't one. And I think it was interesting that they didn't have any game plan to get him into the run game. I thought that was interesting, but I thought he played really well from a clean pocket. I mean, that's what you can want from an NFL quarterback. I mean, you get some good offensive line, you got a good pocket. You want to be able to play well there, and I thought he played really well. I think he was 16 and 19 or something like that for 234 yards from the clean pocket. So he was definitely killing it there. But, it was interesting. This game basically just went like how every single game all season has gone, and, the offensive line just kills it, right? I mean, he was 10 for 14 for 144. Only had 4 pressures, right? Offensive line is killing it. He's just dicing them up, playing excellent football. And then in the second half, the offensive line fell apart. He had 20 dropbacks. He had 12 times he was under pressure, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, even PFF, they had him at 16 pressure. So if you add that up, 4 and 12, that's 1.5. He was under pressure. Awesome. Offensive line was awesome. Second half, they weren't. And, you saw a little bit of different dropbacks from him. I mean, he was 12 for 20 in the second half. Still a good YPA, 217. A damn good YPA there. But you had the 2 interceptions. One was his fault. The other one, you could, say, whether it's called Cole Miller, definitely got pushed back into him. Yeah. So, you can kind of talk about the offensive line in this one. I think you guys can start doing that finally if you want to. I mean, it's been glaring, and it came back. He's just balling. If the offensive line kept balling, man, they probably would have put that game away. Also, I thought they actually had a great run blocking game too, which was interesting. But they didn't want to run the ball today. I think it was the Jarrett Stidham show. That's why I thought Josh McDaniels got a little crazy when they up 24-14. He was playing really well up to that point. Maybe he was feeling after that 60-yard touchdown. But I thought they could have ran the ball a little bit more in this game and added him into the run game. I think that should have been part of this. I mean, that would have. If the Niners came out to stop him in the second half and stop him through the air, which they did, they would have had no answer for that zone read. They're doing zone reads and some RPOs off of them, and I thought that was interesting that they didn't do that with him because he ran Gus Malzahn's offense. I mean, he's a Gus Malzahn guy. He's not like he's a pocket passer type of thing. He's number one dual threat coming out of college, coming out of high school. Over like Joe Burrows and even Lamar Jacksons and stuff like that. So, for them not to try to use him into the run game, I thought that was interesting. So,
I
but
mean, we can talk about it right now. I think that this kind of showed what Josh McDaniels' limitations are, which is not having a plan for the pieces, but just trying to be like, okay, I've had success running these plays. This is how I call offense. This is when I get this. This is the answer that I want to be able to get into, and you guys need to be able to run this, right? And so if that means Jared Stidham, okay, well, maybe you're best used more like a Ryan Tannehill type or a Marcus Mariota type.
Yeah,
get the RPOs going. Okay, get him rolling out of the pocket. Get the play action pass game going. Right? Maybe that's how you're best used. Well, sucks. You want to be a quarterback on my team? You need to be able to run my plays, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So again, it does not matter who the quarterback is. I guess it has to be Tom Brady. Okay. But it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. We still saw the same result. We saw a more explosive game.
Yeah.
We still saw the same result where it was working really well and then it stopped working, right? Late and them not be able to pull it out in the clutch in the end.
I would say this video, that was probably one of the best opening 15s I've ever seen. That opening 15 was nuts. He had them off balance. Ryan's had to be just on their surface, just trying to figure out what the hell is going on, bro. That was one of the best first 15s I've seen. And it was funny. We were talking about that. And it's the reaction, how he would skip over the Steelers and be ready for the 49ers. And that's kind of how I felt, man. They had Fred Warner all over the place looking for digs, and then the dig would not be there; it'd be just somewhere else, and or they would have them, playing some of those inside routes, and there would be the bootlegs outside. Man, he was ready,
and it's all for naught because he doesn't set up something later on, or that doesn't get capitalized on later on. So like you can have a great opening sequence if the plays aren't working in the fourth quarter, then who cares, right? So I mean, that's largely what we've seen, and it did not change with the quarterback. So again, getting rid of Carr, I'm fine with moving in a new direction from Carr, but it does not solve the Raiders' problems. Let's just keep that clear.
With the game planning and some of the things that he did, and it just boggled my mind. I don't know, just to try to make him a pocket passer, and I think that he did better, than I expected there, But I think it kind of just started to crack a little bit. We'll see that, but it's just, if you're up 24-14, man, and you got a young quarterback in there, this is his first NFL start. He's feeling himself. He's already thrown 2 touchdowns. Hasn't thrown a pick. Still doing pretty well. I mean, and you have the best running back in the league. It felt like that he wanted to show that Stidham could throw 500 yards, or it wasn't him, or it was a Carr. I don't know what that was, but man, you should just start to do some zone reads.
I was gonna ask you why they gave the run up, but
I don't know. I don't know, man. I mean, he was passing the ball well, but the offensive line is not going to hold up, man. You get to throw 27, and you're asking for trouble, especially with DeMeco Ryan started getting mad, and he started moving Nick Bosa around. He's like, oh, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Nick Bosa started playing inside more, standing up. I'm gonna show a little bit of that, but they weren't messing around in that second half. They came to play, and I think Davante Adams had the game of his life. I think not the game of his life, but he was fantastic this game.
Bald,
right? And so Darren Waller played well too, but he didn't want to play him for some reason. People don't understand. People argue with me talking about they want to do 12 personnel more. Well, yeah, you could do 12 personnel. I just rather have Waller have 54 snaps and Moreau have 39. Me personally, I don't know about anybody else, but that's kind of how I feel about it.
No, he's hurt, man. He's on a pitch count. Okay, come on.
You look damn healthy to me, bro. So, he's just blowing past cornerbacks with a hurt, big injury there. But he's the widespread tight end.
Yeah. But what it comes down to is, especially is like, how do I work this into my offense? I like Gronkowski types that are in line only.
Foster Moreau, man. You know,
Yeah,
he's got that.
he just fits into my offense better. Sorry, guys. Yeah, like come on, we don't give a shit, McDaniels. I'm tired of him at this point. I'm gonna bleep that out and when I edit this afterwards.
All right, it'll be good. All right, man.
All right, so why don't you start first then?
Okay.
Okay, and give us the wrap on Stidham.
All right, yeah. So we're gonna go over, of course, all the good that he did as well, and then we're gonna go over the plays that the wide receivers make. Because we're gonna go over Adams. Adams just ridiculous, and then we're gonna talk about pressure and some of these other things that went on through this game. So let's check this out. All right, so let's start off with how they got this game going. All right, so this is the play action bootleg. I think this was a great play call to get him going. His first NFL start, get him comfortable, right? Get him on the move. You can kind of see his athleticism here. Kind of get past that that defensive end linebacker. Get Moreau in space off the block. They were not expecting that. You kind of see how they go back a little bit. See how they send a blitz off the edge too here, right? But the bootleg gets them on the move, on the run action. Quick 20. That's a easy get your young quarterback involved. But you just see how they just had them off balance here. Basically kind of, faking their power O, basically. Their counter, a lot of their counter plays. You see the counter fake on there. Good play action play. Nice.
That's a lot.
Yeah, a lot of movement. Yeah, there's a lot. That's what I'm saying. He came to cook early on. So this is a great one too. I mean, they only have one guy on the route on this one. It's only Darren Waller. I mean, Davante Adams runs like kind of a half route. You see right here, play action. Everybody's creeping. Everybody's coming to the line. They're sending the blitz. I mean, they're not blitzing, but everybody's coming forward. You even got Hufanga. His eyes are in the backfield. He thinks Darren Waller's going to block. Boom. He goes right out. Easy read. Get him out of the pocket, on the move where he can really make his throws. You see his talent. It's a great throw, right on the money, touchdown. And then, turf toe. You know what I'm saying? So why is he pointing his toe? Oh, he's letting you pedal to the metal. I got turf toe or something. Like I got turf toe. Isn't that how it goes? I don't know. I didn't listen to that song. But was he letting Josh?
He's saying I did that with turf toe.
Pedal to the metal. I got turf toe right there. All right. This is another one. I really like this one. Kind of, you could get the crossers in the post, right? Watch how they get San Francisco in a bind here. See the jet sweep here, play action. So you get the jet sweep motion here, right? You see how Fred Warner just goes all the way to his left. Had Fred Warner in just all messed up, right? It is how wide open Davante Adams is. Look at that, right? And it looks like they're playing cover 6, little quarter half, and that just murdered them. Because I mean, the jet sweep was really opened this up and gave him a really easy throw. But this is a great throw too, and he has a lot of arm talent, man. Right here, jet sweep. See how Fred Warner's playing that jet sweep. Look how he's moving. It's wholly out of the way. Awesome design there. I'm telling you, man, he was getting ready for this game for weeks. All right, here's another one. They call this Pluto. You know what I'm saying? We're getting basically the quick out, little wheel, post wheel here. And I like how Jared Stidham sees the blitz, makes a check here. And we get Darren Waller just eating him up off the line, just looking injured on a snap count right there. Definitely injured. Definitely should be playing 39 snaps, I think. Wide open. That's a great throw, though. But you can see here they pick up the blitz really well. Right here, man. See him make the checks. Good job there. Then the offensive line does a great job picking up this blitz. Cole Miller just being a stud. Parham playing the wrong position, but also being a stud. All right, here we go. And this is to me. I posted this play on a short, but this is one of my favorite throws from him right here. This dagger concept. Of course, dagger once again. They needed a big play on the big drive. They go dagger here, right? And you see you got quarter, half, little cover 6 again. You got the dagger, but watch Fred Warner. He's going to drive on this check down, which I don't, I'm not sure. I mean, maybe he thought that he's going to check this down because he wants to work this side. He's working the fade over here, but that's you got to cover 2 look over here. But Mac Hollins is wide open and he throws a dime right on money. That's where you really see the arm talent there and why he was the number 1 dual threat in the country on this throw. There. And Fred Warner moving up and open it up late. Great throw. It's got demolished on that throw, though. All right, here we go. Davante Adams just dominating. We're just about to just watch him dominate and be Davante Adams because they put Ward on him, and Ward did that. He did I give him some props. He did okay, but sometimes you just can't stop this, right? On this fade, and the late hands, right? Because Ward doesn't really. He's trying to predict when this ball's coming, but Davante's hands are so late and so quick, and then he gets his feet down, just textbook. There's really nothing Ward could do on that one. That's a great throw too by Stidham. Great throw on the fade. He really leaned on Davante too. He really did. I mean, which is smart. I mean, that's what I would have done. That's a great fade throw right there. Yep, he's out. I pedal the middle like I got turf toe too. All right, here 3rd and 4. This is the big touchdown play. This play is just a roller coaster. All right, so we're getting a little Gotti right here, right? Sorry, not Gotti. It's called Rag. And then, of course, we're running 10 on the other side because we love levels. Sorry, not levels. Sorry, this is a crosser here. You're getting a crosser and a dig from Renfro. So let me bring that back. So you're getting a crosser here from Waller, and then you're getting an in from Renfro, okay? So see the little, you're going to see it basically kind of like what they call a whip route here from Adams. Go in, come out, right? Now, that's where he's looking. This is a pretty clean pocket. I mean, Tom Brady or any of the pretty normal quarterback would be boring here. And just hear Darren Waller. Darren Waller's open. Or you just come back and hear Hunter Renfro on the backside because you have Hunter Renfro 2 here on the 2nd level. That's what a normal quarterback would do. But we get Stidham over here. He wants to do some chaos because there's really nothing over here. Okay, he's coming over here. I mean, really, this is not a good play. So I mean, probably let's bring it back. Bring it back before we get to this throw because I want to talk about Adams here too. This is a lot. Is a lot about Adams too, right? So I mean, probably here, your coach, I posted on Twitter, you probably think it, throw it away. There's really nothing here, but watch just Adams. I'm gonna show this backside. It's crazy. Adams finds space, and Stidham just gets it off enough to him with a great throw under pressure, and it's a touchdown. So
incredible play.
I know, right? So that's what I was talking about. It's a pretty clean pocket. I mean, just to say you could be boring quarterback. You could be boring, but why would you want to do that? Just hit Waller. Come on, man. Get 15. That's boring. You get out here, right? But I want you to watch Adams. All right? Okay, Adams. Okay, kind of sees that he's in trouble. He makes a look to his right. He sees nobody's back here behind him, right? So he just jukes him out. Fred Warner slips to basically becomes wide open himself, right? So obviously he's the only guy who's played with Aaron Rodgers before because all these other guys, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Like Waller, why are you out of bounds? Like Waller could have flipped up too, but I don't know. But Davante Adams is looking for space and he gets wide open and Stidham just gets that ball off enough. Touchdown. So that was an incredible play there. And then, of course, this one's just nuts. We're just going to watch this one. Just Adams open down there somewhere. And then Adams comes inside here, which I think he misread this ball. I think if he would have kept running, like maybe jumped, but he came inside too early. And so but it doesn't matter. I'll just dive with one hand. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? I'll just dive with one hand, And another a good pickup, good, blocking here by Dylan Parham too. Good little stunt pickup there. Give him the time to throw this ball. I mean, he probably should have threw the water, but who cares? We're throwing to Davante Adams. He's going to catch it with one hand. All right. So, we saw some other guys make plays. Saw Darren Waller make a play too here on this one. Play action. Right. See the play call. We got a little Rover quick 62 smoke win. So we're getting the appeal from they're in 13 personnel here. Right. So we're getting the tight end right here. He's going to run the wheel route. We're going to get the end from Adams with the little smoke on the other side. Stidham here, right? I think he threw this ball a little too high, but it's a great catch by Darren Waller. So I'm making a play for your quarterback. Full extension. Get that football. First down. Right. And what I mean by too high, I mean, this is the second level throw. I mean, he's way past the linebacker, right? I mean, probably some touch, gets it over there. But hey, you make a play for your quarterback, even if he misses. All right. So next up, we're talking about Jarrett Stidham and him just kind of making plays when nothing's there. So this one, you see that kind of just running basically a comeback and a corner route. There's nothing here. You get that opening through the B gap with some good interior offensive line because a quarterback scrambling interior offensive line is very key to that. You see they give him a lot of space. There's nobody here. Everybody's back's turned. It's a good read by him. Just take off. Right? That's a little bit of difference between him and Derek Carr. Right? But I still think that you should use. I mean, you see this. I don't know why, you can't get a little bit of zone read here. Can't get his own read, man. He's not slow, guy. He's not slow. Number one dual threat. They thought he was a better dual threat than Lamar Jackson coming out, which I mean, I don't know how that works, but all right. And then we'll talk about
sneaky athleticism.
Sneaky athleticism. So on this one here, right, kind of getting this basically the in and out route from my man Davante Adams there. You see that route right there. And, Stidham he's already taken off, right? He does have a clean pocket. On this one, I mean, this is one of those things where maybe he can step up and then hit Hunter Renfrow, who's about to open up right there on that crosser, right? Instead of taking off. Because then, sometimes I think he's a little faster than he thinks he is, even though he can move. And then he was getting caught up, and then he doesn't get the first down here, right? And he's short, and then they don't get any points here, right? End up going for it, and they don't get any points there. And you kind of see on the backside, right? If he kind of just steps up through his pocket, keeps his eyes downfield, but he thought he was going to score. This is what he sees, right? He's I'm going to score, right? But if he kept his eyes downfield, he just hits Hunter Renfrow right there. So a little bit of process over results too sometimes. Sorry, results over process, but. Yeah, 9 yards. Right. And then we'll talk about last is just how he handled pressure. Because we talked about him with a clean pocket. Pressure was a little different for Jarrett Stidham. So talk about this right here. Get the little play action. He's got Hunter Renfrow wide open on this out route. Right. But then you got a little bit of pressure coming. He kind of feels the pressure coming. And he doesn't really step into this throw and then just airmail it. You see how he's pissed off at himself. Yeah, because I mean he's walking in right there, and they don't score on this drive, so he definitely pissed off at himself right there. Because if he just steps into the throw like normal, he's walking in. Maybe Renfrow. Previous week he made a guy miss, got in there. So you kind of see it from the backside, see the mechanics. The mechanics are, I mean, he's a little bit of heel clicker, a little bit, see a little bit, sometimes his feet, but sometimes you can get his feet, good base here. He just doesn't step into his throw. That's why I missed it. All right. But then sometimes he handled pressure really well. Pressure with 4 right here. I think, what's up?
So you saw Bosa in his face, make Bosa in his face.
Yeah. And then here we go. Another one, they're getting some pressure here, and then he handles it really well. Breaks the tackle, right? Fights through it. Makes a play. Gets 11 yards. So pressure with 4 was different. I mean, people sometimes have trouble with pressure with 4, but I thought he handled pressure with 4 pretty good. You saw on the other play where you hit that deep dig, a little bit there. So, I mean, it gets a little different here when you get some of these blitz pressures, right? And we saw a little bit of a different quarterback here. So on this one, I think he panicked a little bit, right? He's trying to work this side here, which you kind of saw with the play. Bring it back a little bit. So basically working the Z option. You see the option route right there. You see the bender route and then the dig there. And that's the side he wants to work, okay? He's got single high. Play a lot of cover 3 and some blitzes behind it in the second half. We see right here, he kind of has this free rusher right here, right? And he kind of panics instead of maybe just reading this through and throwing it with anticipation in there to Hunter Renfrow right before Bosa gets there. See, he kind of panics, but they did a good job. They put a spy here on him, right? And they got Bosa, who does a great job here breaking down, right? And not just kind of committing to him so he can kind of miss him. Does a great job breaking down. This is great coaching right there. And then coming at him and kind of forcing a little bit of an errant throw here. You kind of say he put that out there, but you watch this on the backside, right? This is a great play by Bosa too. Because I mean, he could have kept going and he just runs right past him, hits Renfrow, but he broke down, right? They want to keep him in the pocket with the spy. If he came out this way, here comes Fred Warner. So you play it back. Play a little spy on him. Then you get Fred Warner coming this way. If he comes out this way, right? So it kind of forced him to kind of stay in the pocket there. That's what I was talking about. He's just not a natural pocket passer. And, Josh McDaniels trying to fit him into that kind of window, right? All right, here's another one here. We're getting a little speedo here at the bottom. You see the routes right there. You're getting that in route from Hollins. You're getting that speedo route from Hunter Renfrow. Right, we got another blitz. Blitz can be really nasty to see on the backside. But you see here, he kind of double pumps instead of throwing the football too late, and then ends up just being a catch, a jump ball right there. And you see it on the back end here. Just a nasty stunt blitz. So they're sending 5. They have 2 guys right slant inside, right, and then have Bosa come out from the back and just free rusher. But if he just gets rid of this football, right, he has a chance to get rid of this football, kind of just throw it, but he decides to kind of hold it a little bit too long, and it's too late, and it just flings up in the air, and it's almost intercepted, almost cost him the whole game here. So kind of see how he handles the blitz there, and of course this one, it's kind of the same thing that Derek Carr does, right? Well, you have Davante Adams, you got Adams one-on-one right here on a go route. I mean, there's no safety over his side. I mean, this is just easy. But, I mean, they did have the spot concept to the bottom, which, just based on the single high look, you're getting man-to-man or you're getting cover 3, right? You kind of want to work this side because then you have Manny Monroe coming out here. But you got Adams one-on-one, and you want to take that chance, but then end up throwing this ball up in the air because of the pressure. So, yeah, I mean.
No way. You're telling me someone was wide open for a touchdown on that one?
Yes.
No.
not wide open for a touchdown. I mean, I always know it was a touchdown, but.
Bro, he was walking in. What you mean? That was a wide open touchdown. Right? Hold on. Run it back.
I mean,
I'm going to zoom in on this one. I put in.
It's
Look, I knew that was a bad play. I knew that was a bad play. Okay. But if you're telling me someone was wide open on the opposite side of that hurts. That hurts.
Yeah, because I mean, he just I get it. I mean, you got Adams 1-on-1, you want to work that side, but I mean, he did have that. Yeah, he did have that spot concept for a pretty. He had a completion everywhere on the other side. So, but yeah, to me, the problem wasn't really Jarrett Stidham, in my opinion. I thought Jarrett Stidham came out. He ran that game plan the first half. He did it really well. And then he made that big play. They're up 24-14. They get the ball back. You know what I'm saying? Or, of course, the defense allowed them to go 24-21. Whatever. That's not his fault. But they get the ball back. And that's what I think it was time to kind of have some creative game plans. But they came out trying to throw still. And, and then it ended up didn't working because I don't think he's that stand in the pocket consistently type of guy and throw it downfield. You kind of could see that a little bit. So it was just
his game.
Go ahead.
His game is predicated on passing less than more, right? Like you don't want him. You don't want a Jarrett Stidham type passing 50 times. You'd rather have him passing 20 times in the game, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that yes, I agree that was a strange game plan and it did not seem to play to his strengths. My question for you, though, after this Jarrett Stidham breakdown, is Jarrett Stidham a starting caliber NFL quarterback? Is he the future Raiders quarterback? Is he someone where Raiders fans, after watching this game, can Raiders fans not be considered delusional if during the offseason, instead of saying, oh, Raiders need to draft a quarterback, they're like, nah, we're good with Stidham. We need to roll with Stiddy. Would that be delusional at this point?
I'll say this two ways. From my personal view, I think he's just as good as Marcus Mariota or any other bridge quarterback that's out there. I thought he played just as well. Some of the quirks are just some of the things you see from any other bridge quarterback. So, I mean, he played well from a clean pocket. And I think that's kind of for him, for competency in the NFL as a quarterback. That's a key part of it. I talked about that on the radio today. It's just, we could talk about how he played under pressure, whatever. If you put a good offensive line around him, he's gonna play pretty well. And I think that's what we learned today from that game. I will say, I think that Josh McDaniels thinks he's a starting NFL quarterback, and that's what I think. I think that just to come out there and think that he could throw 50 times. You obviously think that he is somebody that can fit your system. You obviously think that that's somebody that you can use going forward. And when I was watching the game, I thought up to when I went to training camp, he got a lot of reps with the ones during training camp. They would switch him and Carr out a little bit, and had me thinking the way they used him. I mean, because just what I'm saying, BD, like if you have a player like Jarrett Stidham, and you're up, you feel like you start running the ball, trying to keep him under 30 throws.
Yes.
He did, man.
Yes.
He didn't. He thought he was like, I'm going to keep firing. We're going to.
How much of that is Josh McDaniels like, hey, this season's over. I want as much film on Stidham as I possibly can get. How much of that is it?
I don't know. I feel like he was trying to win that game, man. He was trying to show that he could dominate the San Francisco 49ers, and they weren't that great of a defense. That's what I think he was trying to do. And that's what I'm saying. It got to the point where, that's what I'm thinking. Like, man, there's so many things you could have done to warn this game out. You could have just started using him in the run game. Because if you're doing that, right, I mean, what's the point of trying to keep him healthy, right? I mean, you're just going to, let's use him in the run game. Let's get his legs going. I mean, he could have got some first downs, and that would open up for Jacobs too, because then they get in
big
position.
Missed opportunity. Yep, I agree. Big missed opportunity.
That's what I was thinking the whole time watching him run around earlier.
Run game would have been humming
in the red zone. Like they had some incidents in the red zone where they didn't score. On the first red zone, they didn't score a touchdown. I'm like, how do you not have him part of the run game there? Easy walk in. They weren't ready for that. So hopefully he does that versus the Chiefs. That's why I can hope. I mean, I don't know how you can watch that guy play and be like, how can I not run an RPO? Do you not have RPOs? That's what I worry about. I mean, but we're Debbie Downers sometimes. So
well, no, it's not that we're Debbie Downers. It's should let's put it like this. If you watch a coordinator in your experience, you watch a coordinator, okay, a coach, and you watch their scheme in one place, and then you watch it in another place, there should be enough there that's like, okay, this is brand new. This is not something that he did at that previous place. And a lot of that is going to have to do with scheme or personnel, right?
Yeah.
And so the fact that so far you have been able to basically name every single play that McDaniels runs, okay? Like, he's running the same stuff that he's always run, okay? And that's really, like, it shouldn't be a one-for-one match with his previous 10 years. It shouldn't be. There should be other things that are brand new, Raider-specific, personnel-specific to the players on this team, you know? And it doesn't seem like McDaniels has that in him. He has a playbook. He's going to call his playbook. He's going to stand by his playbook. He's going to work with Ziegler to find the players to work with his to be in his playbook. And us as Raiders fans are going to have to sit around and wait 4 or 5 years for this formula to work out. So I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but it's just proof. It's just proof that we're in it. We're in for a long haul. It's going to be a tough one, Raiders fans, because they have a lot of work to do finding players that fit this.
I mean, they really what they have to do is they have to fix this offensive line. They need a great line. You need a great line, bro. I don't know how you didn't think that the first year. I mean, I don't know, especially if they didn't like Carr. Like, I watched Michael Lombardi talk about how, how they something about like Jay Cutler, they couldn't come in there and be professional or whatever and come cut him just right away because of Jay Cutler. I'm like, okay, if you thought that about him, like we trade for Davante Adams, you give up all this draft picks and all this money or whatever, they could have put that all onto the offensive line.
Right.
You know what I mean? And everything would have been fine. I mean, Derek Carr would have played better. Hey, I mean, Jarrett Stidham would have played better. And maybe you would have had someone Jarrett Stidham if you fixed this offensive line. So, it's that too. But anyways.
Also think about it like this, from this perspective. Come in. If you don't like Carr, you're not sold on Carr, whatever it is. That's not the future. That's not what you want. You like the Stidham guy, okay? Trade Carr then when like the value is like super high. Like he just went to the playoffs. Like trade him now. Get a haul back for him. Now like they're bound. Like $40 million contract they're on the hook for. No team's gonna trade them for that.
No.
And Carr's not gonna allow it. He's gonna be like, I'm not, you're gonna have to cut me so I can go choose my team. So, like they put themselves in a dumb situation. Just, if you wanted to keep Carr, then build around him. If you don't want to keep Carr, then you should trade him a long time ago.
Who cares about the optics, man? Who cares? If you're worried about optics, and who cares, man? You come in there, you get rid of him, and then you build from there.
Yeah. It's misplayed. But we're going long on offense.
Okay.
40 minutes in. I do want to just say, okay, you could fix the offensive line. Okay, you got Davante Adams. Maybe he's got a little connection with Stidham. I was gonna say maybe Davante Adams thinks about sticking around here playing with Stiddy. When he was talking about I'm here for my guy, he's talking about Jared Stidham. Okay, believe that. But anyways, you could do all that on the offense. You could do all that on the offensive side of the ball. The defensive side of the ball is still hemorrhaging points. Okay, like gosh, are they trying to end the season in the record books on the wrong side of the record books? I don't know what's going on with this defense. There's a lot of personnel issues. I'm going to go over that. But first, I'm just going to go over the defense. So why don't we just get into it? Kind of jump into the defensive side of the ball here. All right. So first things first, I'm going to be talking about run defense. Raiders really struggled, okay, for the very first play of the game. I knew that we were going to be in for a tough one here, okay? Look at Christian McCaffrey. Just look at him. I'm freezing the frame right here. He's showing his shoulders. He's saying, hey, I'm going to the sideline. And look, where is he looking? He's looking right at Luke Masterson. He's going, hey, I'm running to the sideline. So Luke, where's Luke Masterson go? He takes off. He goes, oh, I'm going to get there. Loses it. Look at Luke Masterson's still looking over here. He's like, hey, where did you go? Okay, when I saw this play, very first play of the game, I knew we were in for a tough one. Okay, especially because look at this hole. Luke Masterson, really, bro? Shoot that. Okay.
I know, right?
So let's see. Next play. You get like a little six here, quick six. Nothing crazy, right? But you look at the footwork from Christian McCaffrey. It's beautiful. Okay, this is a really good back. Watch Max Crosby. I think here he needs to wrong arm or spill this, meaning he needs to go ahead and get on the inside arm and leg of that tight end. But instead, he goes and boxes this and allows that cutback. And I think that when you box it, you get a little too far upfield at times, and that allows for that to be kind of a soft edge for Christian McCaffrey to pick his way through. You know, credit to, I think that's Lange, number 50, 56, one of these guys. But I think Lange had an okay game. Here now, here's the next big running play. Notice the look they're in. It's 3rd and 3. They come out, I guess, in 11 personnel. You see a tight end, you see a back, okay. But for some reason, Patrick Graham decides to call dime and get into a blitz look. Look at the look. We got Isaiah pull him out in. He's the weak side linebacker, dime linebacker. You got Luke Masterson. He's playing his position, right? This is not a look to stop the run, okay? And they catch him. They just catch him. I'm not going to talk about Jerry Tillery. You know, I mean, hey, they got you guys. You know, it was the wrong look for this. So I don't know why they decided to get into dime on 3rd and 3. I think that's a bad decision right there. And to get into a blitz look on 3rd and 3, especially against a team that runs the ball so well. Now,
crazy blocking Kittle. Just sorry.
Yeah, I mean, right. All right, so now we get. I mean, Kittle has some great blocks in this one. He was going toe to toe with Max Crosby. You see him here. Look at this. Good. Drives Max Crosby all the way outside the numbers. Okay, gets underneath his pads, right, and allows this edge to be widened enough now for McCaffrey to put his foot in the ground and run up those numbers. It's a beautiful play. Great block. Pick up 10 yards on a 2nd and 10. Okay. And the crazy part about San Francisco is they're going to give you tons of volume. It's not going to be the same 3-4 base run plays. They're going to hit you with draws. Okay. Like this one right here, which is deadly when you got a guy like Christian McCaffrey and you give him a lane like this to work with. He's going to get positive yardage and break off quite a few big ones. Okay. Then they're going to hand it to the fullback. They're not just doing the same thing. They're going to hand it to the fullback. It's like a 3rd and 1, I think. Check, best fullback in the league. Easily.
Easy.
Max Crosby, you know what happens here with Max Crosby? Max Crosby is going, I think, to punch this one out. But that's still strange effort from Crosby. Usually you see him go and just wrap that guy up. Not sure what's going on there.
He's a car stand.
Okay. Yeah, right. He must be a car stand. All right. Uncharacteristic bad day at the office from Andrew Billings. There's a couple of them so far that he hasn't looked so hot on. He gets really far upfield on this one. Okay, look at the pad level. He's super high up. He has no chance of being able to break down and tackle a guy like Christian McCaffrey when 74 is all over him. Okay, and really he should be, you know, building a wall at the line of scrimmage. That's the way that this team plays the run. Also, Kyle Pico, I know he had some good plays against the pass, but this is what he looks like against the run every single week that he's in there. He's just a huge guy who does not stop the run. It's very strange. Okay. Now, this one's terrible. This is a terrible one. This is the backup running back. Okay, and it looks good. Yeah, this looks great. No way is he getting anything here, right? And then what happens is this fullback comes out and starts blocking Clelin Ferrell. And Clelin Ferrell gets pissed. Watch Clelin Ferrell. He decides, hey, I'm looking for the back. Oh, you want to block me? And then he just decides to give up on the play and drive this fullback into the ground. the running back is still right. I have no idea what's going on with this defense. They do not care anymore. It's obvious. Okay. Cleveland Farrell literally just decided to make it a wrestling match between him and Juszczyk. Okay. Oh, and then they're going to hit you with some reverses. So really, San Francisco said, we're going to give them a bunch of volume, and we know that they've really given up on the season, and there's no way that they're going to be able to stop all this stuff that we're going to give them. And that's really what it came down to. Here's the last one.
This is a lot of volume in a run game. Good Lord.
Good Lord. Good luck stopping that. Okay, when you're playing for nothing. Now I want to talk about Luke Masterson. Luke Masterson, I'm going to single him out. He got targeted a lot early in this game. I think there were some big time plays where he had a hand in. This one in particular, okay, he needs to come up and just make this tackle right here. Easy. Okay. Bring up, 2nd and 5, but for just completely misses that one. That's a poor effort. Not good enough. In the NFL, you gotta make those one-on-one open field tackles. That's about as easy and routine of a play as it gets in the NFL. Got to make that. Okay, he got away with one here. All right, let's look at this. This ends up being 1, 2, 3 over, 1, 2, 3 under, fire zone. Okay, and Luke Masterson, he is not blitzing. So that means he needs to relate to the back. Okay, this is 3. Trayvon Merritt comes down over 2. Okay. This edge player, whoever this is over here, drops out. He's responsible for 2 over here, and Luke Masterson is responsible for 3. When 3 goes out, Trayvon Merritt is trying to pass him. He's thinking, oh, Luke Masterson is going to be there because 3 went out and came out to my side. And that's the rules. If 3 goes fast out, you're going to pass 2 off to the linebacker, whoever is responsible for 3. But Luke Masterson, for some reason, is over here. He's not realizing what his responsibility is. He gets away with one right there. All right. Wasn't going to be as lucky in the red zone. They come out here with a funny look, empty. They got trips over here to the field with a wide bunch. And in this too high look, Luke Masterson has to take all of 3. And it just so happens that he gets one-on-one with one of the best tight ends in the NFL. You play a lot of good tight ends if you are the Raiders, I guess. Got to go up against Darren Waller in practice and Kelsey, and I'm sure it looks like this every single time. But just gets outrun to the opposite side, touchdown. Okay, you have to body this guy, put your body on him. Okay, and right as soon as he does not get any of them, he doesn't get a piece of them, and allows that inside, it's over. He's never going to catch up. So Luke Masterson struggled, but not even close to as much as how bad of a game as Nate Hobbs had. And this is becoming a theme so far, honestly, in this year. Let's look at him. He's at the bottom of the screen. He's in press man coverage. Watch his feet. Okay. Do his feet click? Okay. Is he crossing his feet over a little bit? Okay. He needs to step with his outside foot first, but instead he's still doing this heel clicking that I talked about. When I watched his film in Illinois, he would click his heels together. For some reason, he steps with his inside foot and not his outside foot. Okay. And what happens as a result is he needs to pick up both feet at the same time and put them down. And while that's happening, this guy hits him with an inside move. Because his feet are not set, he gets pushed back on his heels. He doesn't have any base to fight through that pressure. Okay, here he is at the top of the screen. Okay, and they get him. And this is how the Raiders have adjusted to this all year. Okay, watch Amik Robertson, 21. He's pointing. He's saying, hey, that's you. Watch 25. He's pointing to Hobbs. Hey, that's you. And Hobbs is very late. Okay, reading through his man. And what he needs to do is he needs to read through his man and peek and see if if this guy's coming. Okay, and once this guy comes, he needs to drop off and cut this guy, and because he knows the safety's going to go ahead and get over the top. So he's late picking that one up. Okay, and I just want to point out on the very next play, Amik Robertson realizes, oh, they're doing something similar. Again, points, and he goes, okay, I'm going to robot back over the top, and ends up saving Trayvon Merrick. Look at Trayvon Merrick. Tries to open up his hips, flip around. That's a touchdown. Amik Robertson saves a touchdown on this one. Beautiful play. So similar concept. You know, one time we saw Nate Hobbs give up a big catch, and then the next play.
Sorry, I got a question. Why is Kyle Shanahan doing this throwback with Brock Purdy? Like, I mean, this is just a Herbert throw. I mean, Justin Herbert makes that throw.
Yeah, if you're a 49ers fan, you're probably going to want to hear me criticize, you know, like the ball placement or something here. But, you know, I love the ball placement.
What you got?
Okay, here's another one. 39, bottom of the screen. Okay, watch his feet. They're pedaling, and I talk about this all the time. Fight to stay square. And he's opening up his cushion early. Okay, and he's getting into this half turn. Okay, and the toughest part about playing in a half turn is going side to side. Okay, because your hips are opened up. It's easy for you to turn and run in a straight line against go routes. You play this technique when you're in cover 3 and you want to sit on the fade. Okay, that's why you want to do this. But when you open up your hips, you're giving up the inside break. And that's what happens. It's just enough of a bad technique where you have to wonder if he was fighting to stay square there, he probably breaks this one up. Okay, gives up a big catch across the middle of the field. And then this one is just extremely strange. 39. Okay, keys run. Realizes, oh, it's a play action. And so he bails out of there. And then Brock Purdy gets hit by Lange as he's throwing the ball here. Okay, flutters in the air, and Nate Hobbs, he sees it the entire way. I don't know if he gets lost in the lights because he overruns it. And then when he tries to go up for it, he just gets completely mossed. So you have to think, like, man, come on, like this. I think if you're a great player, I think you're at least coming and breaking this one up or putting your hands on it or something like that. So I don't know if Hobbs just has a problem tracking the ball in the air. That is a strange play, especially when you consider this is the guy who Raiders fans are saying that's our future, right? And if that's the future, you're not like in a game like this, he's not going to be posterized over and over and over again. So I'm really down on Nate Hobbs right now. I'm really interested to see if the Raiders keep him, what the plan is going to be for Nate Hobbs going forward. If he's going to remain on the outside, if he gets moved to safety, if he gets moved back to nickel, like what is the plan for Nate Hobbs? Because the experiment on the outside this year, it did not look so hot.
Yeah, he just doesn't have the technique to play outside. It looks like. I mean that one rep was pretty ugly in the and the goal line. I mean that's not what you want to see from a pro NFL corner. You know, what I mean that's just not.
None of that. We have not seen pro NFL technique from Nate Hobbs this year. We have not seen that. You know, which play was it where the guy catches the ball and Nate Hobbs just hugs him, just like grabs his arms around him and lifts him up to catch the ball. Oh, yeah, and Scorone. Oh, that game. I can't even say that guy's name. That game. Oh my goodness. Like if I really wanted to go in on Nate Hobbs, I could go so hard on him, and I'm not going to because he's a young player and hopefully he turns it around. You know, but I do also just want to put some of that out there because I know so many people and Raiders fans are so desperate to be like, we have a young DB. I don't know if we can really say that about Nate Hobbs right now. You know, I mean, when it comes to having a DB, that means he impacts the game in coverage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if not, then he's like Jamal Adams, elite blitzer. So that, I mean, I don't know.
Let me ask you about Amik Robertson. What do you think of his future with the team? I kind of feel like he's a frustrating player because I mean, like you see plays like you saw where he's able to kind of read that and bail somebody out, and then you also see him get beat sometimes. So it is somebody you can kind of live with if he's playing the way he plays, that he make plays, and then sometimes you can get beat. Like somebody you can live with that way.
We saw Amik Robertson get comfortable in the NFL this year, and I think that the moment that it happened was when he made that interception against Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
They're playing a funny coverage too. I think they're playing like inverted cover 2, and he's the nickel, and he ends up dropping deep, cushioning the deep route, and he drops underneath it and gets an interception. And it was a good looking interception. It's like one that you dream of because it was athletic with the hands above the head, and he comes down in bounds and he gets a little return off it or whatever it is. I think that lifted the monkey off his back a little bit, and he was like, "Okay, I got my freaking interception. I've been pressing so hard to make a big play. We saw all preseason like he was going nuts to try to make a big play, right?" Mm-hmm. So he finally made that play, and I think that allowed him to settle down a little bit. I know he missed some time because of injury, so that also helps out. I think at times too that can be a blessing to miss a little bit of time for injury and to be able to come back and be 100%. Sometimes that can be a blessing for a player. It gives them some rest in the middle of the season. So we saw that as well. So I like what we've seen from Amik Robertson. You brought it up. You said he's frustrating because sometimes he gets beat. Well, Marcus, he's going to always get beat. He's 5'8".
I know.
Okay? He's 5'8", and he's not Brent Grimes athlete. You know what I'm saying? He's like really great athlete, not elite like Olympic athlete, 4 threes, 42 inch vert like Brent Grimes. Okay, so he's got like a normal athletic profile for an NFL corner and a very small frame on top of that. So there's going to be times where he is going to get beat. There's just athletic limitations. You wouldn't say probably want to put him one-on-one with DK Metcalf all game. You know what I'm saying? But the body types match up where, okay, we could maybe put him one-on-one with Tyler Lockett all game, right?
Or Terry McLaurin, something like that. 5'11", Terry McLaurin. There's not that big of that crazy difference.
Yeah, right. So, exactly. And against 5'11", even a 6 foot receiver, that's nothing crazy. But yeah, when we're talking about like the really big body receivers or the receivers who maybe they're not like crazy big, but they're extreme athletes like Jamar Chase's or something like that. Yeah. I would be like, even Terry McLaurin, I'd be like, let's not do one-on-one all game with Amik Robertson. Don't put him in that spot because now you're trying to make him look bad, right? But I think Amik Robertson can definitely be a piece, be a guy that is hopefully primarily a nickel going forward. And the Raiders have 3 corners who can play on the outside better than what we've seen and better than Amik Robertson. And Amik Robertson can be a nickel guy who comes in on passing situations only. Great. That would be a perfect piece to have. But that's like mostly a luxury piece. They're still like the backbones of the defense, like the guys who will actually start outside, right? Like who's playing linebacker for this team? Is Cleveland Farrell going to play linebacker next year for the team? Like there's a lot of question marks. Pass rush has been taking a dump last few weeks. So great. We have a sub nickel corner that is like just scratching the surface of the needs. So yes, Amik Robertson, great. It does not push the needle at all for us.
Yeah, I know. There's so many needs because talking about Cleveland Farrell. I was talking about him on the radio and I watched it. Like, yeah, he looked like Chandler Jones, but like a poor man Chandler Jones. So like, if you didn't like Chandler Jones this year, that's what Cleveland Farrell looked like.
A little worse than that. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, they just have so many holes in defense. It's crazy. And nobody really, we talk about the offense and, they created a hole, in my opinion. I mean, they kind of created, they should have fixed last year if they didn't like the guy. So now we have a big hole, which is the biggest hole on any team, right? But then we have these humongous holes on defense. This is wild. So
I mean,
we're gonna see how it works.
This team largely had the same personnel. Okay, you got Roderick Teamer. You know, you got these. You know, okay, last year it was Brandon Faison. This year it's Sam Webb. You know what I'm saying? Nate Hobbs was out there this year, right? Trevor Merrick was out there this year, playing the same position he played last year. You know, and I would argue that Deron Harmon was an upgrade in terms of the leadership, the intangibles, just having people be in the right places. And you saw the defense for at least a little bit of a stretch play at a little bit of a higher clip when Deron Harmon assumed some more leadership and Abram left lineup completely. So, you know, in that respect, they got maybe, you know, they got a little better. Amik Robertson improved, you know, Deron Harmon a little better, but Gus Bradley, you know, had largely the same guys, right? And we saw, or at least same caliber of guys, and we saw much better results last year. So you can say there's a talent deficiency. And I said that last year, and I said with the way that the personnel was, the depleted depth in the secondary last year, there was no way they had a chance going up against Jamar Chase and, you know, all the wide receivers in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So they were depleted last year, but they made it to the playoffs last year because the defense still was able to do things with Gus Bradley at the helm. So this year we saw a downgrade in terms of, you know, just overall play. You cannot argue that at all on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, largely the same talent level. I mean, you got rid of Yannick Ngakoue and you got Jalen Jones, you know? So that should have been at least a wash, you know?
So are you saying that Patrick Graham is on the hot seat? Is that what you're saying, BD?
He has to be on the hot seat.
Right? He has to be. But see, and then that changes everything because, I mean, well, they really didn't give him his players. So do you give him a chance to allow him to grab players he fits his scheme? Because he came in there with the
bro. I told you, or like the very first episode, I told you, Josh McDaniels was like, "Look, I'm getting all my guys, and then you're gonna get scraps. Can you scheme that?" And Patrick Graham was like, "That's all I've been doing in New York. Let's do it." And it did not work out for him.
Okay. All right. And that now he's got Gerard Mayo. Now we're gonna have Gerard Mayo come in, and they're gonna get a bunch of man corners and
yeah, and then they'll say, and then Gerard Mayo will be like, "No, I'm not doing that." And then Josh McDaniels will be like, "Okay, I'll listen to you." I'll make another guy look bad first, though.
All right. Any other thoughts, BD, before we get out of here, man?
That's it.
That's
it for me.
That's it for me, guys. So yeah, just check out. You know, we got a short out there. Go ahead, check out the little breakdown I kind of did on the show too. But you know, check that out. Go check that out. Join us on the membership. Join us on the membership. Check that out there. You know, like I said, I got the whole Will Levis breakdown. You decide yourself whether you like Will Levis or not. And we get some Anthony Richardson, some Tanner McKee. All those, you know, we're gonna get it in with the quarterbacks. So definitely keep on lookout for that. And of course, we're gonna look at some defensive players too. So subscribe, guys. We out. Peace,
y'all.